Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and happy first day of spring. I'm so excited that spring is here, new beginnings. I mean, I'm all about it, even though there is one thing that I hate about spring. But we'll get into that later with one of the books. This is my spring TBR. This is all backlist titles. I don't even know what's coming out this spring. I haven't been keeping up a lot with new releases other than when I see them on Book of the Month or on Nightworms or something like that. But all of these are backlist titles. I'm so excited for them. There isn't any particular reason why they are on my TBR other than maybe the cover has some flowers on it, or maybe the cover has a springy color on it. And some of them I just really want to read because they've just been sitting on my shelves for such a long time that I want to get through them. So let's jump into the books that I want to read for this spring 2023.
2023. Oh my gosh.
Starting off with two middle grade books that I want to read. Again, one of these, let's just talk about it. Premeditated Myrtle, which is a Myrtle Hardcastle mystery. Wow. I bought this on a whim on Amazon once. I saw the cover, it was suggested to me, and I just was all about it. Now, this book, number one, I really want to read it because I really want to read it. It was a cover buy for me. Obviously, I did see the synopsis afterwards when the cover grabbed me, but also we have some flowers on the cover down here, and we have some like purplish colors, some lilac color on the cover, and so I thought it would just be perfect. And it's spooky, it's a little cozy middle grade mystery, and I'm all about it. I believe we are following Myrtle. I can't say that, and I don't know if it's the Invisalign or just my damn mouth, the way it moves. Myrtle.
I'm done. This is what I want to read.
12-year-old Myrtle Hardcastle has a passion for justice and a highly unconventional obsession with criminal science. Armed with her father's law books and her mom's microscope, Myrtle keeps up with the latest developments in crime scene analysis and observes her neighbors in the quiet village of Swinburne, England. And then there's a mystery, and I guess they call her up to sort of solve it. I just think it's so cute and just so appropriate with the cover for spring. And then the next middle grade that is on my spring TBR is actually a graphic novel. It's a middle grade graphic novel, a spooky one, and it is Another Kind by Kate May and Trevor Bream. This is a book that I got sent for review like years ago, and I don't know what my issue is. Like, I should have read this a long time ago because it is a graphic novel and it takes what, like one sitting to read this. At least for me, graphic novels do. But this has to do with these kids that are sort of stored away in this facility. They're learning how to master their special powers, and they're happy, they're thriving, they're learning, they're just getting their shit together. And then one day there's a breach at this facility and they're forced to venture out into the world. And that's all I know about this, but it looks super fun. The graphics on this and the cover, the drawing or the artwork, wow, I couldn't find artwork. It's just incredible, and I'm super excited to finally read this. I have two fantasy novels on my TBR, one dark, one is like a cozy mystery, like a fun, cozy fantasy mystery. The first one is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I bought this a little bit ago and I've just been dying to read it. I think this is backlist. I think this came out last year, if I'm not mistaken. I hope it did, because if not, then it is in the wrong video. But super excited to read this. I don't know much about this other than people rave about it. Sort of when I hear people talk about it, I like forward or not read the post. But I think it's an orc that opens up this bakery and there's this little mystery behind it. I don't want to know much, but I am super eager to read this. And then the dark fantasy that is on my TBR. I bought this last year, I think, if not the year prior. I love this movie so much that when I saw the novelization of it, I was like, sign me up. It's Pan's Labyrinth. It's Guillermo del Toro with Cornelia Funke. I know that I did haul this whenever I was making videos, but like I said, this is one of my favorite movies. It's like a comfort movie, but I can't watch it too much because there's a lot of emotions in it for me. I don't know why. And that creature, with the eyes and on the hand, it really freaks me out. But I love this story so much, and I want to see if this is an exact novelization or if this like a different story and it has different things. If you read this, let me know. But I'm super, super excited, obviously. And then the colors, I chose this because the color of the cover, and also it's in a forest and it has all these magical creatures and stuff, which is just so springy to me, you know? So that's why I chose this one. And I mean, not only that, I'm just dying to read it. I just keep looking at this book on my shelves and looking at it and looking at it. But when it's time to pick something up to read, it never crosses my mind. Is that weird? Obviously, we're going into adult territory. I believe Legends and Latte is, can't speak, is an adult novel. So we're more in the adult realm now. I do want to read this one thriller that everybody keeps raving about, and I've had in my possession since I was in Austin last year. I actually bought a signed copy when I went book shopping in Austin, Texas. I don't know. But it is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. Winstead or Winstead? I think it's Winstead. But I don't want to know much about this. I think this follows, everybody says how dark this is, and you guys know I'm an avid horror reader, so the darker the better. But with thrillers, for me, sometimes they just miss the mark. But I've heard that this is amazing. But I believe we followed two characters when they were in school. I can't remember. I think it's college or high school. College in New York. And they meet this man, and somehow they get like spun in his web of lies, and somehow, I think maybe it has to do with a cult, I'm not sure, but somehow these two girls are the only ones that escape his web of lies, and they continue on with their life. And I think one of them hears of the other's murder, and she goes to investigate what happened to the one friend, her one friend. Oh my gosh, I have two ebooks also that I want to read. The House Witch, I saw this cover. I think this book came out last year, hopefully again. It is part of their Kindle Unlimited collection, and when I saw the cover, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. I believe there's going to be 3 books. The House Witch, a humorous romantic fantasy. I feel like humor and romance is just perfect for the springtime, and the cover has like these leaves and this just whimsical effect to it. So I'm super excited to read this one. The other ebook that I have that I want to read is The Girls in the Garden by Lisa Jewell. I love Lisa Jewell. I want to read all of her backlist titles. I've read the majority of her newer books, but my friend, she actually told me that she loved this book, The Girls in the Garden, and so I'm excited to read this one. And again, I chose this one number 1 because she told me about this book years ago. I think this is like backlist of Lisa Jewell, and I love her writing. And the cover is just like green and foresty, and it has a house on it, but it's like covered with like all these greens, so I thought perfect. But yeah, I'm like megally excited. Now we're coming up with new words for excited because I overused that word so much, so now we're megally. Okay, that's gonna be the new word for excited, because you know, I have to describe my feelings for my reads, right? So The Girls in the Garden. And then the last 4 books are just purely horror, because I have to have horror in here. I told myself that I was only going to do 2 horror books, but here we are with 4. They're short, and we're going to start off with Beautiful Atrocities by Ross Jeffrey. I read, damn, what's the name of that book? I have it in the tip of my tongue and the tip of my Invisalign. Only the Stains Remain, a couple years back, and it hit me in the feels. It was amazing. I loved the writing, and I believe we got this book in one of our Nightworms packages. And I also have a couple of other books of his on my TBR that I really want to get to. But I wanted to start off with this one. This is his debut collection. He has this trilogy that's called the Juniper trilogy that I really want to read. It is a collection, so you guys know I struggle with that a little bit with collections of short stories. But because this one is small and it's an author that I enjoy, or that I have enjoyed in the past, I think we will be okay if I read a story here and there throughout the springtime. I chose it because it's beige and it has some like flowery things on the cover, and it's just light and bright but horror. This has a foreword by Eric LaRocca, which brings me into an Eric LaRocca book that I want to read this spring, and it is They Were Here Before Us. This cover is just spring with all the damn bugs on it. And that brings us to one of the reasons why I hate spring, is because the bugs come back from hell. And they need to stay in hell where they belong. And I'm talking about, like, there's this bug here, or this insect. I first saw it in Tennessee when I was traveling, but then when I went to Tennessee that one time, I think we had just moved here to Georgia. And I'm like, thank God we don't have these. They just look like the insect that was directly spawned from the devil. It just looks really bad. Come to learn that they are not like mean or anything. They don't even mess with you. They're not poisonous. They don't sting, but they look like they have a stinger. And when we come back here, I think like a couple weeks later, I see the damn insect here. And I wanted to die, but I hate insects, and I thought that this book would be perfect because it's like flowery, but it has a bunch of insects. So what better time to read this book than when the insects are coming back? The mosquitoes are out already. The flies are here. The mosquitoes, no, I haven't seen mosquitoes, but the flies, and they're huge. Ugh. I just hate bugs. But this, I don't know much about it other than it is a novella in pieces. So I think it has different stories and they all connect to make a novella. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's super short. I mean, we all love Eric LaRocca's writing, and so I'm excited to read this. We're down to the last two. Starting off, And Then I Woke Up by Malcolm Devlin. I started this whenever we received it in our Nightworms box, and I don't know what happened. I put it down and I never picked it back up. But I want to read it, obviously, because it is in my collection and it's pink. We need more pink horror books in our lives. Do we not? If you agree with me, let me know in the comment section. Put a pink heart, or I agree with you, or yes for pink horror books. Thank you. This says that it's in a world reeling from an unusual plague, monsters lurk in the streets while terrified survivors arm themselves and roam the countryside in packs. Or perhaps something very different is happening. When a disease affects how reality is perceived, it's hard to be certain of anything. And then we go into what I'm imagining is our main character, Spence. He is one of the cured living at the Ironside Rehabilitation Facility. Haunted by guilt, he refuses to face the changed world until a new inmate challenges him to help her find her old crew. And it goes on from there. So excited. Again, this is a very short book, and I was really curious about it when we first got it in our Nightworms package, but never got around to finishing it. The last and final book that I want to read in this springtime, or not the last and final book, but one of the books, the last of one of the books that I want to read this springtime. Every time I look at this title, I want to say it in Spanish. Because I know that it is a word in Spanish. I don't know that it's spelled like this in Spanish, but it's melancholia. Melancholy, I know, but melancholia. I don't know what it is, but this book is from Death's Head Press, and I was super eager to read this when I saw this cover, and I thought, okay, perfect for right now for springtime. It is like full of flowers and stuff, and it's just been sitting on my shelves, and I'm dying to read it. My friend read it around the same time. I think I requested this and it got sent to me by the publishers, but don't quote me on that. I think that's what happened. But I never got around to it. Surprise, surprise. But my friend read it and she said that it was amazing. So another short book for my spring TBR. And so yeah, those are all the books that have called out to me from my shelves that I really want to read, or from my Kindle library. Of course, I'm gonna read way more than this because we got a span of 3 months, and I think I'm gonna be able to read more than 11 or 12 books for the springtime. So there's many more books on my TBR. These are just ones that I really want to finally get to see if I love them or hate them, and it's time to unhaul shit in this room because I have so many stacks of books everywhere that do not fit on shelves. So it's time to read what I got, you guys. So those are the books that I want to read in the springtime. Some of the books. Let me know what is on your spring TBR. Let's chat books in the comment section down below. Also, let me know if you've read any of these and if you loved them or hated them without spoilers, please. As always, these books will be linked down below. They are affiliate links, just FYI. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.